What turns an attractive person ugly? Meth. Fine truth. Worked at a gas station. And one of my regulars was honestly attractive. But she hung out with the wrong people and liked to party/club. Not sure where though, because where I live there isn't a whole lot of clubs, if any, so maybe bar hop, and she'd usually stop by my gas station on her way to the club or way home drunk. But as I said, she hung out with the wrong crowd, so I slowly got to see her decline. Seen her hooked, drunk and high on marijuana. I seen her high on cocaine. And this whole time her appearance is getting not really worse, but changing. She's becoming more thin. Eventually I left the gas station, got a job somewhere else. I came back a year later to get a Red Bull on my way home from work and say hi to her ex-coworker when I smelled something just horrible, like a mix between chemicals and shit. I turned around and this customer is walking by, and at first I didn't recognize her. Her hair had knots in it, like she hadn't washed it in weeks. It was a mess. She was practically a skeleton. She wore some old sundress that had holes in it. It honestly looked like she was homeless. I walk up to the counter, pay for my stuff, and then my ex-coworker takes a break. There was another employee there who rang the rest of the customers up, and we go outside to have a smoke. First thing I'd say is holy F, I didn't recognize so and so. Ex-coworker just says yeah, she got into meth and pretty much went downhill. Effing meth is horrible shit. Sounds like that girl was your personal anti-drug commercial. Having a shy arrogant attitude. I heard once, I don't care how pretty they are. Someone somewhere is tired of their apostrophe. Their smell. One of my biggest fears is that I'm smelly and can't smell myself. I'm not one of those people who retain scents on my skin, body wash, lotion, perfume, so I'm constantly nervous I'm stinky. I lived your fear. At my new job I wore some of my old work clothes for like 6 months from my previous job, and apparently I stunk of ammonia. Yes, I washed them pretty regularly, but apparently not with strong enough detergent. No one said anything to me during that 6 months till I could get my current work uniforms, and I just found out maybe 2 months ago after I had the new uniforms for almost another 5 months. IDK if I was just that used to it from being around it all the time at work or what, but I wish someone would have told me. Are your clothes mainly polyester? Polyester can retain scents even after washing. Selfishness. How they treat others. I went on a few dates with someone really good looking. I thought so. Anyway, all she did was make fun of the way other people looked, dressed, acted. It was so tough to take. But I kept holding on because of her looks. I realized how shallow that made me, too. It happens. We stick with bad people for all kinds of reasons. Lack of common sense and humanity. I'm surprised I haven't seen this said already, but being unreliable. Like when they say, oh, we should totally go to this place, do this thing, watch this movie, play this game, etc. and then either never follow through on the plan, cancel at the last minute, or meet up with you and change what you're doing. Got this? Like if you're gonna waste my time and effort by flaking, let me know beforehand. Especially when it was their idea in the first place. Like, I could sort of understand if they felt pressured to say yes when asked to hang out. But when they are the ones who made plans in the first place and then flake last minute, it makes no sense. When it happens once, okay, fine. But if it becomes a pattern, it's a huge red flag. Social media obsession. On a similar note, wanting other people's approval and likes. That's a sign of immaturity for me. Agreed. So immature. Not accepting responsibility. This. So sick of people always blaming others. Too immature to accept what they've done or who it affects. Absolutely revolting. Don't care how attractive. Most likely fed with a silver spoon growing up. Lying. When I was 15, my cousin's best friend was the cutest boy I had ever met, until I got to know him. He was cocky and talked down to any girl that he didn't deem beautiful enough to put his charm on. He was never really mean to me because I was one of the boys, but that just let me see what he was truly like towards girls in general. He quickly became the ugliest person I knew. In turn, one of the funny looking kids in my class quickly became my crush because he was just so nice. His inner beauty outshined his big ears and crooked nose before the first week of school was over. So yeah, personality is a game changer. I hate boys who literally won't talk to a girl unless he's romantically interested in her. In some cases they treat girls they consider to be unattractive poorly for literally no reason. Narcissism is the worst. It's like eating an apple that looks delicious, but is devoid of flavor. There is no substance. It's hands down the worst trait I have come across that makes an attractive person ugly, and unfortunately, a fair amount of attractive people suffer from this, and I'm not sure what the cure is. It seems deeply ingrained, and can be hard to spot at first glance. Once you can spot it, you can spot it fairly quickly. Abusing the fact that they're attractive to be manipulative. It's disgusting what people will try to pull when they think they're attractive enough to get away with it. I shudder at the thought of the kind of emotional damage I would have suffered from this if I wasn't a super cynical person. If I was kinder, more trusting, more gullible. I can think of at least a few people that would have seriously taken advantage of me and probably left me all effed up. I've seen it happen to friends and family too. Seriously fucking awful. Yep. Few years ago I had a crush on a friend. When she found out about that, everything changed. Like before, we would meet up for lunch and she'd just be wearing a t-shirt and sweats, etc. We always split the bill. But after, she'd show up to lunch in mini skirts and low cut tops and expected me to pay for the meal for the privilege of seeing some cleavage, I guess. We stopped hanging out shortly after, and the last time I heard from her she called begging me to help her move her stuff out of her house because she was being evicted and promised she would do anything to show appreciation. Sounds like you dodged a bullet. Being a complete moron. Ignorance. I hate people that don't know anything and choose to not learn anything new. People who think they are better than others, who choose to not learn about cultures or people's identities. It just makes me mad. I can see no beauty in a closed off brain. When being attractive is their only personality trait. Chewing with their mouth open. I had a classmate who had an overall great personality. Pretty smart too. But man, when she ate, not being willing to try new things. Went on one date with a guy who listed the 4 or 5 foods he eats, then got mad that the Italian restaurant didn't have any of them. I forget what they were, but they were child foods like chicken fingers or something. He then yelled at the waiter that he only eats real American food. Strike 2. Treating people like shit. Strike 3. Perception of American exceptionalism. I chugged my wine, paid, and left. 5-minute date. While I was chugging, he asked if I could pop his back pimples. I almost puked on the table.